Thanks for staying with us here on Journalist Hangout on TVC News. I've been speaking with Mayor Akinpelu and Dotun Oladipo. Right, history has a way of repeating itself, and the recent coups that rocked some West Africa countries necessitates vigilance in a country like Nigeria. In the wake of coup allegations against the military, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, said officers and men have no desire to truncate the country's democracy. General Lagbaja added that personnel of the Nigerian Army under his leadership are agents of democratic growth. Mayor, Army says he has no desire to truncate the Nigeria's democracy, even though some people already, what exactly do you think is responsible for feeding these narratives about coup or coup attempts or plans to subvert the democracy of the country?
It's very nice to hear from the Chief of Army Staff that himself and his officers and men do not have intention to truncate democracy. It's very heartwarming to hear that. But they cannot even, we won't even allow them to truncate democracy. That is nothing. We have to accept that one first. We won't truncate them. This place is not, Nigeria is not Nigeria. We have gone past that. We are going past that. This experiment has been on since 1999. And we'll be able to do, yes, it's not perfect. You understand? It's not perfect, but relatively we've done well. So it is shameful and unacceptable for people to compare us with Mali or Niger or places where, don't forget that these people that plan coup in the West African sub-region, Nigeria, our president as chairman of ECOWAS is one needing to try to weigh them in. We put a lot of sanctions. They pulled out of ECOWAS. They've tried to bring them back. They've lifted the sanctions. Just to show that coup planning or coup or military government is an aberration. Nobody is going to accept that. And Nigeria in the Community of Nations is a super country. We are a super, just like we have superpowers. In Africa, we are a superpower. So it will be unacceptable. Even the world will not accept it for us to now go back down because they look up to Nigeria to solve problems like that. Don't forget that initially when there was coup in all the 3 countries in West Africa, there was at a time intention that a military force could be sent in. And Nigeria was supposed to spearhead it, you understand, to try to say, look, you can't do that. So, thinking that something like that will happen in Nigeria is just nonsense. But the problem that we have, I can understand where the story is coming from. The story is coming from, you see, it's the way we are. That's what we used to do when we had all these military incursions. When we are angry against the system, when we believe that the system has not done enough to take care of our needs, we will now say, oh, we don't want these people again. And we believe that the only people that can help us remove them are military coup. So when we hear, Major Kiniko, everybody will start jubilating that, thank God, they've removed them. We have passed that stage. We have learned our lessons. We are on a journey. It is difficult now, but military coup will not stop. In fact, military coup will take us back 30 years. So we cannot afford to do that. People died for this democracy that we are enjoying. There is a man called Abiola that won an election and was jailed, and after 4 years died. You understand? His wife died. A lot of patriots died in the course of fighting for the democracy that we are enjoying. So we now say because the economy is bad or we don't have enough money in our pocket, we think that is to go back to the military that will solve that problem. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Some of those who were calling for this military takeover were those who were dissatisfied with the 2023 general election, and they felt, oh, it was supposed to be my candidate. So since it's not my candidate, would appreciate if the military could take over. Is it safe, as some people would want to say, to call them unpatriotic saboteurs?
Well, they are nothing but that. Because like we've always said, the election cycle in Nigeria is 4 years. If you are serious about your candidate ruling, then you go out and vote. Gracefully and thankfully too. For every cycle of election we have had, we've seen improvements. The world has commended us. So, if you lost in 2023, then 2027 is almost here. If you still refuse to learn the lessons that led to your loss in 2023, then 2027 can be better. If you look at the off-cycle governorship elections, like we discussed here, why those governors got their way was because they learned lessons from the past and closed the ranks within their own party. Bayelsa is a good example. The man brought together everybody. I'm your servant. So those who left for APC, those who left for Labour, when he saw election was coming, he brought them together. So people must begin to look at what can make me to win the election. If the Southeast fails, it's our turn. Then build bridges. When people were speaking about the last election, when I looked at what happened, the candidates, everybody can see the one with the largest connection all around the country. You can see who had the upper hand. And then you can also see that perhaps if two candidates who are in that election could combine, they could win. Possibility.
Make a big offset, yeah.
You know, but all of those things did not happen because it must be me kind of thing occurred. And then those who are loudest in terms of shouting didn't come out to vote. So how do you win an election? So instead of you calling for a coup, why don't you organize yourself better and win the next election? And then you also have to ask yourself again, for those who are saying this government has done this, this government has done that, have you looked at the manifestos, the programs of all the candidates? They tended in the same direction. Removal of fuel subsidy, tackling the forex. So it means we would have gotten the same results. So the issue now is, can all these candidates for the election do critical analysis of what can help the country and put across to the government?
Yeah.
Let's all work together instead of calling for coup.
Mayor, and to add to that, let me start by saying that no election is perfect. Anywhere in the world, no election is perfect. That's number one. Two, it is for people who do not like the result of the last election calling for coup. There's no big deal to it. They're just showing the selfishness of the woman, the selfishness of a typical human nature. It happened in America. In the last election, Trump did not accept that he lost the election. Not only that, his supporters stormed the Capitol to stop them from certifying the election results, which would have made it impossible for the president to emerge, because in their own system, the results must be certified. And people stormed the Capitol trying to stop them from doing that. People have been jailed because of that. People are still, even the president is, the former president was supposed to be tried because of that. So that some people did not like the result of the last election, it's no big deal. That's like that. Human nature, when they don't win, everybody wants to win. When they don't win, they want everybody to lose.
But talking about coup, you know, if the military chief says that they are loyal to democracy, remember, know that some Nigerians are also in the military. Those in the military are Nigerians, and of course patriotic, you would say. It could be that they might actually stage this coup against their own seniors, isn't it?
No, they can't. They can't, because I will explain something to you. Nigeria has this peculiarity. If we check our history, every time that the junior officers planned a coup, they did not succeed. They never succeeded. All the junior officers, from Lusegu to Oka, all of them, when you look at junior officers, and the reason is very easy. The only way you can plan coup in Nigeria and succeed is if you are it must be a palace coup. It must be from the top. And the reason is because of the complexities of the Nigerian military. In other words, when Oka planned coup, they took over in Lagos. They took over the airwaves. When Izeguden planned the coup, they killed the prime minister. They killed some premiers. They were able to take over the country for some time. You understand? But they could not hold on to that power because in Nigeria, if you plan a coup, everybody must agree. Everybody, or each power block must agree for it to succeed. It must calculate down for it to succeed. So if you don't do that, you can succeed in Lagos. But the commander in Kaduna will say, your coup didn't get here. The person in Enugu will say, oh, the coup didn't get here. You understand that we are still loyal to the federal government. And then you don't realize that you don't have, because they will just move the president from one place. The president is still the president. Because you took over a garrison in Lagos or in some states, does not mean you have succeeded. So it is important, it is very, very important for the head of the military to talk on behalf of the military to say we are loyal to the democratic institution. You understand? And that we don't have any intention of doing what we are not supposed to do. It's very hard for me to hear that because an average major or lieutenant do not have the wherewithal to make a successful coup. They don't. They can succeed in some areas, but nationally it must be a collective thing. They must be able to have the decisions that, oh, we want to change things. Right. And then that is when you succeed.
Okay, so in order to forestall, unison or agreement, some sort of agreement among all of them across the nation in order to stage a coup, what do you think the federal government needs to do, especially in terms of the soldier welfare, compensating the fallen heroes and all of that?
Well, I think it's the news has been good so far, because even some days back, the president still spoke on welfare for the military, including the pensioners, the retired ones, which is good for us. But we must also add to this, improvement in the welfare of the military. The fact that even Nigerians who are making some of these calls also need to get that reassurance from the government that what we are doing, the phase we are going through now is not going to last forever. And that's part of the call that we keep making. It's good to have ideas you want to implement, but please, let it get to the citizens in a way that they can understand it and look forward to that better future. Because if you keep doing all of these things and it's not so sure, it's not so clear. You go to the market in the morning, Indomie is 2,000. You go back in the afternoon, it's 4,000. And we are not able to get this balance that, okay, this is what is happening. This is what the government is trying to do. Like the Binance, it's been explained to us now. We now know about this. So if something like this comes up again, we begin to shout quickly.
That's right.
So we must understand the workings of government. It's not just enough for you to be doing something. Nigerians should be carried along. And that's why people have been talking about the Ministry of Information, the National Orientation Agency. Talk to people.
That's right.
Some of the greatest presidents we've had, it's not because of what they have really done in the office. It's the eloquence, the ability to convey their intentions to the people.